All right.
All right.
We are at Austin Winds doing a way overdue video. This is Keith Fiala, Austin Winds artist. Going to play a bunch of horns for you. Little background on Keith. Keith, through the years, has moved progressively a smaller and smaller diameter, playing on an Austin. He's got several Austin Winds horns, playing on several different Austin Winds mouthpieces. Keith plays a very small, extra small, 580 diameter. And that allows us to mess with the, he's an upper register guy. He's, even though he's a lead guy, I wouldn't just classify him as a lead guy. Other stuff too. So that allows us to use a lot of the, to mess with the depth of the cup quite a bit because he's playing with such a small diameter. So this is, what's this cup?
This is the 580 KF lead.
Okay, so this is a Keith Fiala model we did for him. The 580 is the diameter. KF, it's between our medium shallow. It's a little shallower than our medium shallow, I believe.
Just a little bit.
Just a hair.
Yep.
So fairly close to that. And the backbore is a KF backbore too, which is a different design, but it's between our 2 and 3.
Right.
All right, so what we're going to do is go through each of our horns. We're going to start from, and we're going to try to go from brightest to darkest. This is our Concert 460 LT. It's a 460 bore, what we call our corrected Bach. It's the most typical horn we make, and most of ours aren't typical, but this is the most standard, what most people would consider, the Yamaha Bach classical type horn, 460 bore, medium large. So Keith's going to play a little bit for us. We're going to try to do a little bit of something consistently on each horn so we can hear the difference between them in sound, and then he'll do something that is kind of more apropos for that horn. It kind of embraces the style of each horn. So there you go. Okay. Let's see what we got. Concert 460 LT in silver plate. Typical concert sound.
Yep.
You want to do the upper, or you want to wait on that?
Let's wait on that.
All right.
I'll do the lead next.
So that's, yeah, tell you what, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So there's a lot of discussion, with silver plated versus lacquer. And without getting into it too far, I'll trade you. This is our Concert 460 LT with a bronze bell, brushed lacquer finish. And this is going to sound a little bit different, but because it has a bronze bell on it. It's not because it's lacquered and not silver plated. I'm not going to open that can of worms. Everybody feels differently. My thoughts are there's a difference between raw brass and either lacquer or silver. But if there's any difference between silver plated and lacquer, it's insignificant. That's my view. People in the know tend to agree, but you'll hear different things from different people. And so here's the same horn you just heard, but with a bronze bell, lacquer finish. Yeah, so that's that. This is a horn we call our KF lead. It was made specifically for Keith. It's a variation on our Stage 470 LT. He wanted our Stage 470 LT feel, which is probably his main.
That's my main instrument.
Main horn, most widely used, even though he's got some others for various situations. But he wanted something with a brighter sound. Our Stage 470 LT has a fairly dark bell flare to it, white bell flare to it. Even though it's lightweight and can brighten up, it's still, the character of it is a darker sound. So we put a different bell on it to give it some zip and some zing. That's this crazy thing. You want to zing on it?
Let's zing on it.
Yeah, that's bright.
That's bright.
That's bright. But it's a big, fat, bright, cool horn. You want to do an A-B just for granted?
Sure.
So this is back to let's do it on the silver.
You got it. Sure. No worries.
Just so people can see visually. Back to the concert horn. Do the octave if you don't want.
Okay.
Yeah. much, I don't know if it, hopefully it comes through in the recording. It's a much smaller focus sound.
Right.
It's
And it feels like it.
yeah. Feels tight, blows tight compared to what Keith's used to, and it's a, I mean, it's not a bad thing. That's what you're looking for. Some people like that tight focus sound. Some people are not. I will say this. One time I was listening to Keith play up in Temple, playing lead, Copper Bell, we'll get to it, stage 470 LT, and you know, we naturally move a little bit when we're playing. When he moved, I noticed very little difference in variation in sound. Cat next to him started playing, I think he was playing, you know, one of the typical things, and so they switched. He was playing lead, and when he would turn, it would just be like 50% just gone. It was a very directional rather than a big old huge, I shouldn't have said the band, but I mean, it's still great. It was great. It was just, you know, it was a very much more directional sound.
That was years ago.
Yeah, years
So,
ago.
up the register on this one?
Yeah. There you go. See, that's more pleasant to me, even though it's slight. It's a bronze bell.
Exactly.
It takes a little bit of that harshness away. All right, so from there, put these back.
Now,
We
question.
are- Go
Do
ahead.
you want me to keep the same mouthpiece for the Broadway?
If you don't mind, at least for the
Sure,
bass line type
sure.
thing, and
You
then we'll
got
go
it.
from there. We're using a mix of Austin Wynn's own horn and some of the horns that Keith owns. This is one of his. It's a Broadway 466. It's this model right here, but this Keith's playing on his own here. Again, going from bright to dark. This is still a little on the brighter side.
Yep. So down and then up?
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good. Yeah, bigger sound.
Yeah, much bigger.
Bigger sound. We'll do some other things too here in a bit. So moving from there, this is our copper bell, brushed copper, stage 470 LT. My mainstay, I play on a bronze bell. We'll play that too. This is Keith's copper bell. Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Much bigger sound. You'll notice, or at least I notice, if you wouldn't mind, do some octaves for me. Like, let's hear just like a low C.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big, fat sound, but fairly dark. It's not till you, on this horn, this is what we call a chameleon horn. So as you start going up an octave, let's hear like a C, and then a high C,
Okay.
or two Gs, whatever you think. Just to hear how it brightens up as you get up higher. I mean, that's got some sizzle to it, man. Yeah.
That'll hurt you.
Not nearly as much. Do that same thing on the lead. if
Okay,
you don't mind.
yeah, sure.
So now we're going back to the KF lead. This is a bronze bell, lightweight bell. Both of them are lightweight bell. Yeah, that'll peel the paint off
Oh, yeah.
walls.
That'll hurt you.
So sorry. How you need?
I'm good.
You all right?
I'm
Okay.
good.
So that brings us to we are now getting into kind of the darker arena. This is our stage 466. It's actually very popular. I don't stock them as much as I should, and that's changing right now. Actually, I've got a couple more being made. Very, very popular horn, and it's becoming one of my favorites because it's a good all-around horn. Not too bright, not too dark. It's 466 bore. It's unlike our others. This is not a lightweight bell. So the character of this isn't going to be a chameleon-like quality like the others. It stays very consistent from the low register to the high. I'm going to go back to that.
The high and low, yeah. Lots of great sound.
Yeah.
Even on the lead mouthpiece.
Yeah. Yeah, dig that horn. Okay, so from there, if I may jump back, can you grab that bronze bell for me? I did it out of order, but we're going to go back to the difference between copper bell and bronze bell. Both lightweight, same exact horn, same specs, 470 bore. This is a bronze bell. We might, if you don't mind, AB
Sure.
a little
AB,
bit without
sure.
the copper.
So let's do low register on the copper
Yeah.
real quick.
Perfect.
Then
Yep.
up.
Yeah, may as well. Yep. Yeah.
Oops. And same thing on this one.
Yeah. They're very similar.
Yes.
They look so different, and here's Keith's. They look so different, and they play so much alike that Keith, by the way, we had a tuning slide made with no water key on it. He's just gotten real quick at pulling it out, dumping it, and popping it back in. Get rid of turbulence. So they're so different cosmetically, but they play so similar sound-wise. Most people would decide by the appearance. We do make this in a brass bell as well. The brass bell is surprisingly bright compared to either of these. As a result, the character of the horn is really darker horn. We probably sell 20 of these to one brass. They just outside the character of the horn. We'll sell a couple of them, but it's not nearly as popular. Okay. Which brings us to our big bad boy, a balanced ballad. You mind doing it with the
mouthpiece?
Yeah, with,
Sure.
with your same mouthpiece, and then we'll
got it.
switch and do something different.
You
Go
got
ahead. This is our balanced ballad 1. We make a balanced ballad 2. I don't have one in right now. Heavy bracing. It's extremely heavy, meant to be, not by accident. Extra large bell flare on it. I mean, you can see it's absolutely huge. Intended to be a very dark, smoky ballad horn. All right.
All right. Now the octave.
Beautiful. That added mass centers nicely.
It
man.
does. It really locks.
Mass on a trumpet in various positions typically adds, it adjusts, it enhances the sliding, makes the sliding of the notes much more secure. You can feel them. Certain horns, like our Stage 470, it's intended to be pretty slippery, slide in and out of notes. The ballad, even though it embraces that quality in jazz, because of the mass, it slots. You feel it. You feel the center of the note. Very, very cool. So now this bad boy here, you'll notice how much shorter it is. This is our ballad mouthpiece. We call it our balanced ballad mouthpiece, and it's an extremely large throat, much deeper cup, very much like, it looks like a flugelhorn mouthpiece, but it has a trumpet shank on it. So the combination of that mouthpiece with the ballad trumpet is almost flugel, that close. If you don't mind.
Sure.
So this is the same thing, just by changing the mouthpiece. Step away and check this real quick.
Yeah.
Still looking good. So if you don't mind, let's hit, if you got time, how are we looking? This is a quick, by the way, totally non-scripted, off the cuff, so I want to thank Keith for doing this with me. I really appreciate it, taking his time. He's got a lot going on these days. If we could hear, that was all to just hear the same thing played on each horn. So you could go back and click and listen around, see the slight differences in sound. Now we're going to do something that kind of embraces the character of each horn a little bit more. In other words, you know, concert. You already heard classical on a concert horn. We did classical stuff on the jazz horns just so you could hear the difference. That's just, you know, don't judge. It's just so you could hear the difference. So if you want to do a little Joyce Spring on.
Sure. Which one?
You want to go backwards?
We're going to go, yeah,
Let's do. So we just heard the ballad. So from the ballad, we're going to go to, let's do the stage 466. You got it. And then, or should we, let's do it on, you want to do the flugel? And then we'll go backwards.
Yeah, let's do the flugel. I'll grab my flugel mouthpiece over here. Just to show a separation.
Yeah, this is our ballad flugelhorn. Got two different models of them in. Different patina. This one has a slightly smaller bell. Other than that, they're similar. We'll get into the design of this later, different video, but we wanted a sexy horn, man. I wanted a tenor sax type sound in a flugel, in look, sound, smokiness. So that's kind of where this concept came from.
Awesome. Misty?
Yeah, that's fine. As well, throw this one in.
Sure, why not?
Very similar.
Yeah,
Similar.
very.
They're both very dark flugels.
Beautiful.
Okay, we heard the ballad. You want to do this one just for the heck of it?
Sure.
We'll just go straight down the line.
You want it on this one?
Yeah, we'll switch back to
Lead mouthpiece?
yeah.
Awesome. A little Joyce Spring?
Sure, sounds good. Yeah, Keith keeps his valves much better than I do with my horn sitting out, so sorry. All right, that's our balance ballad 1. Stage 466.
Excellent. do this one.
Broadway, 466. Yeah,
That sound is like amazing.
yeah, love it.
It's crazy.
Just love it. Let's do your
Copper?
Yeah. Copper Bell, stage 470 LT.
Maybe I'll play the melody right this time.
Okay, yeah, that's home.
That's largely
Pretty
home.
much
Yeah.
just home. Yeah.
That's the one I go to every day.
Yeah, and Bronze Bell.
Brownsville. Yes, sir.
That's the stage 470 LT, brushed Bronze Bell. We got the Broadway, we got KF Lee.
Can't lead. Sounds good.
This is the KF Lead specialty. If anybody wants one, it's custom made. Yeah, it's the cool horn, man. It's the cool horn.
Concert 460.
Concert 460 LT.
Nice.
No need to do the silver, same horns.
Yeah.
There we go. Can you do one more thing for me?
Yeah, sure.
Ballad mouthpiece with our Concert 460 LT in silver.
You got it.
That's to show how severe of a difference a mouthpiece can make on a horn. I mean, you just heard that on this. Same thing with the balanced ballad mouthpiece. Yeah, I mean, it's night and day.
That's almost like just stupid dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So there you go. There's the full arsenal of Austin Winds minus our Balanced Ballad 2, which I don't have one in right now. It's very similar to our Stage 466 with heavy bracing, like our Ballad 1. So that's it. Thank you, Keith.
Thank you,
I
brother.
appreciate it.
Yeah, man. My pleasure.
All right. Y'all take care. All right.
Cool. Beauty.
All right. Let's hit record and do this for real. Record and do this for real. Record and do this for real.